Welcome to Distortion Analysis, where each episode we discuss various topics, music news, bands on tour, and share album reviews, all focused on heavy metal. Here are your hosts, Sean McKnight and William Rizzo. And we are back. Where'd you go?
Hold on.
I'm back. Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, what the hell? You got a skull. Oh, that goes with my shirt.
Hello.
How
You've
about
caught
that?
me gloving a human skull.
Where did you get that?
This was a prop that I bought from one of them horror conventions.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
guy, a special effects guy, who had a booth a couple of years ago, and he
Cool.
just had this sitting on the shelf. I'm like, "Is that for sale?" And he goes, "Oh yeah."
How
That's
much was
great.
it? How much was it?
I think it was like, I don't know, 35, $40.
That's not bad.
No, and he did a
Not at
great job.
all.
It's a epoxy like resin type substance, and
Killer.
it looks fairly realistic, man.
It does. Well,
One of my
he just crafted that by hand?
that's what it. Yeah,
No
it's.
shit. Wow. He
I
did a good
I
job.
don't remember his name, or I would plug what he does, but he's a special effects guy. If I can find the name, I'll definitely mention it.
All right, yeah, bring him
Oh,
up. That's cool. That's badass, man.
nasty, and the even the
The
jaw
teeth.
moves a little
Oh,
bit.
jaw moves. Look at that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
Cool. That's
it's usually an amp talisman that I have sitting on the.
that's a good talisman. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. We are back for episode what the hell is this? Nine? Eight?
Mine,
Nine? Wait a minute. What are we
man, it's
way out
flying.
here? Hold on. It's episode nine. Yes, nine. Thank you. And yeah, so we're back for that. And this time we're doing something special. Now, with this episode, I just want to point out we're doing a gear edition, which is something that we're going to do once in a while. We're not going to turn this into a gear podcast because they're already gear podcasts. But we thought what we do is that every once in a while we break out a gear episode because we're both gear nerds, especially you are.
Mm,
You're a little bit more active on it than I am right now. But it's one of those things where we're both gear nerds, and we thought, well, we're going to share some stuff about gear too once in a while. So
right, right.
yeah. So now in this case, so that is our topic of the podcast. It's gear. So, William,
Mhm.
take it away.
All right. So I really went down the rabbit hole in researching this topic.
Cool.
So uh, a lot of fans of metal music like knowing how the music that they enjoy was created. I know that when I first started getting into rock music and I heard Back in Black, the guitar tone on that album just blew me away. And I'm like, how come I can't get that sound? It's because I was using a shitty little Fender practice amp.
I
And
love
then
it.
I
Yeah.
learned all about the wonderful world of Marshall amplification.
Yes.
So, what I decided might be nice to talk about is you have the band Metallica. So I'm
Who?
repping Metallica a little bit.
Metallica? Who's is that? Are they an important band or something?
There's some kind of like metal band that's been around for about 40 years.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
they
Okay.
seem to have a following, and they do
Do
okay
they?
for
Okay.
themselves.
I'll look
You
them
know,
up. I'll Google them.
yeah, I don't know. You might have to use the Tor browser to find shit about on the dark web now. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I've always, I've been a Metallica fan since the 80s, and
Oh, sure.
their guitar tone always just was exceptionally crushing to me. So I
Mm.
just thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of take a walk through the amp land of Metallica. Um, there's they're a fascinating band because, as everybody knows, they've gone through a lot of changes in their lineup, a lot of changes in their songwriting approach, and a lot of changes in the gear that they use.
Mm.
So, it's been in researching this stuff, it's been coming across like, I mean, there's so much that's been written about their gear over the years.
Is that right?
Everything from people who are guessing what's happening to like actual interviews with people who are directly involved. Like there's
Huh.
interviews of Fleming Rasmussen,
Oh, yeah.
the producer, right? In the
Yeah.
beginning, anyway, before I think Bob Rock stepped in. And he's, he remembers quite acutely. He even took notes of like settings on the amps that were used.
Hmm.
So he's a bit of
Cool.
a historian on that stuff. But so this isn't like looking to recreate the wheel, all right? But yeah, it was mostly an exercise of at least myself getting myself up to speed as to the different um, equipment that they used over the years. So, with all that being said, um, a little bit of a disclaimer. Well, a set of disclaimers. Okay, so I mentioned like a wide variation in what you hear, what you read online, right? You have people who have no idea what they're talking about and they're making guesses, or people that are just, purposely putting bullshit out there like we used the Metal Zone on the first four albums. Obviously, they didn't do that shit, right? So I tried to distill the most pure amount of truth that I could
Nice.
out of that sap. Um, so the other thing to keep in mind is even with the exact rig that they used, you still don't know what kind of what they call studio magic was used,
Oh, yeah, the engineering part.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all part of like all of the ingredients that go into the soup of what you hear on the finished product. And that's one of them because, standing next to the exact amp that was used on the album at the exact settings, standing in that room isn't going to sound the same as when it
Mm,
came out on the finished product,
no,
right? So
no, not at
there's a
all.
lot of things that happen in the studio. You have things like what speakers were used, what speaker cabinets, the mic choice, choice of
Well, choice
microphones,
of mic, placement of mic,
placement of mic.
what the room is like, because I've worked in studios.
Yeah, yeah, the acoustics.
The acoustics of the room. You also have things like the compressors back in the rack in the studio itself,
Uh-huh.
that
On
kind
the
of stuff. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. There's so many factors that influence it
yeah,
between the sound that's generated from the speaker and the actual recording of it back in the studio. There's so many
that's
things
right.
between those two things that
Uh-huh.
really influence that. So yeah,
Yeah, you're
100%.
never getting the raw tone on the
No,
record.
not completely. No.
So, I mean, there's even like multi-band, like parametric EQs that are on the mixing console that are directly influencing the sound. So,
Yeah,
we're not going to
100%.
dive too deep into those weeds. We're just going to talk about the actual equipment. There's other elements, obviously, like the pickups and the guitars that are being used.
Yep.
That makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, big time. Strings.
The strings,
Yeah.
and finally, last but not least, the fucking hands.
Yeah. The player.
The hands,
Yeah,
man.
the player, 100%.
The famous example that gets thrown around is if I gave you Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar, and even if you knew how to play guitar, you're not going to sound like him, even if it's plugged into his Fender amp.
Yeah, even if I was wearing his hands on my arms,
That's
I
right.
still couldn't get it to sound like him.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
No, I don't think that
Yeah.
would work either.
Yeah, and
So,
this is the same concept for
yeah,
this.
yeah,
It has everything to do with both of them are very good guitar players, but James especially, James Hetfield has just got such a tight picking attack that if you are not at that level of acuity, it's not going to sound right.
yeah,
It also has to do with like when you're palm muting, how much pressure are you muting the strings with the palm of your hand?
right,
Light touch, heavy touch, middle. What is he doing?
right,
You're never going to get that exactly.
yeah.
Um, for as far as speakers are concerned, that's pretty much, yeah, there's a lot of variety, but not with Metallica. Usually the cabs that they used were Marshall cabs,
Okay.
because he liked using these Celestion Vintage 30
Were
speakers,
they
which,
both Hammett and Hetfield using the same cabinets, or did they use different cabinets at all?
no, they had different cabinets here and there. The main thing was in the beginning, especially, was the Marshall cabinets with the Celestions in them. And then once they moved on to the Mesa Boogie amps, they started using some Boogie cabs because
Okay,
they had a different sound signature, obviously.
right.
And there was even a point in time where Kirk was using Randall amps with Randall cabs.
What album did they switch to the Mesa Boogie from Marshall then? Like, where was that transition in their album lineage?
That was after Ride the Lightning.
After Ride the Lightning, so that
Yeah.
would have been Justice, or no, Master of Puppets rather.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
Puppet,
that was
well,
the
yeah,
fourth.
you can really hear that then. If you listen to the sound of Puppets versus Lightning, there's a big difference there.
It is a big difference. That's right.
Yeah, it sounds so much fuller compared to Ride the Lightning, which sounds much thinner based on like the production itself,
Yeah. Because
comparatively. You know?
the Marshalls they were using on Ride were a lot thinner sounding than some of the like the very high gain amps that were available then.
Yeah.
They just kind of a unfortunate circumstance that led to them doing that transition. So I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna start with Kill 'Em All because
Okay,
that
go for it.
really is the beginning of this.
All right,
The
let's
other
do it.
thing is like there's a difference between studio rigs and live rigs,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
especially now
Yeah.
where they're using modeling
Right.
uh
Like
equipment,
digital. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
using like fractal axe effects, I think live, but in the studio they're using all this vintage shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's something to keep in mind. And this is going to be mostly about James's tone because for a good chunk of their career, it was James playing everything
Well,
except for the solos.
and his stuff and those riffs are really definitive of them. I think even more so than the solos are.
Yeah,
Because
I
his
would
like
agree with
I
that.
look, Hammett's a brilliant player, don't get me wrong. But at the same time though, I find his solos get kind of generic, where he
Yeah,
does a lot of the same tricks every time. So
yeah.
there's nothing that stands out as a signature thing to me. So I mean, some of the signature solos for sure, don't get me wrong. But there's
Mhm.
a lot of stuff that he does. I'm like, it kind of sounds like a lot of the other solos. Whereas those riffs, though, it's like that's part of why you listen to them is
That's
those
right.
riffs, you know?
That's
So
right.
yeah,
Total
yep, yep,
Hetfield.
yeah.
Uh, so we're going back now in time to 1983. Kill 'Em All comes out. What they're using at the time, there was a guy in Southern California named Jose Arredondo, and he was a one of these mythical amp gurus
Mm.
that knew how to hot rod amps, the circuits. And he modded an amp that James Hetfield had. It was a Marshall Super Lead amp from like I don't know, the late 60s or something like that, but like one of the first, like it was a Plexi basically.
Mm.
And it had this mod in it, and they call them Jose mods. This and he's not he passed away in like 1994, but this guy had a very prolific career of juicing up a lot of well-known players' amps, like Eddie Van Halen,
Oh,
right?
right on. Wow.
I don't know if it was George Lynch was another one.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
I think he did one for Yngwie. And what he
Wow. Huh.
does is he increases he adds it like a gain stage. So at the time when he was doing this, late 70s, early 80s, the Marshalls that were out back then were not exceptionally high gain amps like you
Huh.
have today.
Yeah.
They were, you had to really heavily boost an amp with like a boost pedal in order to push it, the front end of it to where it would break up a lot easier and a lot, sooner at lower volumes and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he modded this one amp that James had, and he used that amp on Kill 'Em All with a pedal called the Proco Rat. It was a
Huh.
distortion pedal.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I know that pedal actually.
yeah, it's been around for eons.
Okay.
And that's basically the sound that you're listening to. The 1959. That's not the year. That's the model number. The Marshall of
Okay.
the Marshall head he was using.
Gotcha.
Kirk was using also 1959 Super Lead 100 watt head, but he had a tube screamer hooked
Ah.
up, which is a boost,
Mhm.
and also he's got the wah pedal too. Very, very simple beginnings, right? All right, so then yeah, the next year they do Ride the Lightning. So what ended up happening was in the beginning of 1984, they had that amp get stolen, the one that was modded.
Oh,
And
okay. Hmm.
apparently they were playing a show in Boston, and somebody went into their van and took a bunch of shit out of it,
Oh,
including this amp that was like his prized possession. And
oh.
I guess that was the actual impetus for him writing Fade to Black.
No way. I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
this. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
get
because he
out.
said in interviews like, while I wasn't like suicidal about it, but I was like, man, that was my favorite fucking amp.
I didn't know. I didn't realize he wrote that about that. That's so funny.
Yeah. So they
That's
had like
awesome.
basically they were still supporting Kill 'Em All. They hadn't even started writing Ride the Lightning yet,
Okay.
and so they're just doing the last few shows, and they were set to go off to Europe to record Ride the Lightning. So they go there and they're all depressed because their equipment got boosted. Um, Apparently he tried a bunch of different amps. They went to Copenhagen, to Denmark.
Hmm.
And apparently he said that he tried every fucking Marshall amp in Copenhagen to
Huh.
look for a good sound. And he ended up finding
Huh.
um, a, an amp called, it was another Marshall, it's called a JMP. It was a 2203. And it's basically the precursor to the JCM 800,
Mm.
which everybody was using in the 1980s. So this is right before the 800 came out. And actually, the JMP circuit is the same exact circuit that went into the initial JCM 800 batches.
Oh, interesting.
So they're technically the same amp,
Oh
but
yeah.
cosmetically they look
Wow.
different.
Okay.
So he
Huh.
finds this amp, uh, and he uses this with his a tube screamer, just like Kirk had on the last album, added in to kind of boost the tone of it. Again, because it wasn't a modded amp yet, and he needed more gain than what the amp naturally produced
Mm.
on its own. This was later modified by a different guy called Ken Fisher at something called Trainwreck Amps to allow um, something called preamp bypass. So in an amp, you have the preamp and the power amp, right? Sections, and you want to think of the preamp as like the brains of the
Hmm.
operation, and then the power amp is the muscle that pushes the wattage. The preamp adds color, adds tone, it adds tone shaping, and gives it a voice and a clarity to the guitar tone. So you can bypass the preamp section and go straight to the power amp if
Mm.
you have, say, an amp that you like better than that amp, but you want to use that power section.
Hmm.
So they had it modified to be able to do that. And what ended up happening was this is right around the time where they started getting into Mesa Boogie
Mm.
amps, right? So they recorded the amp using the JMP with the tube screamer, which I guess Hetfield didn't like. He said it made it sound too fizzy.
Huh. Fizzy.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, he wasn't a fan. It sounded, he said, it
Huh.
something along the lines of like, it was like it coated it and it made it sound like shit.
Oh, okay.
Now I love boost. I love boosting amps, and boosting an amp has the effect of like tightening up the low end because
Hmm.
it gets a little flubby when it's just straight into the amp with no effects.
Yeah.
And if you want to tighten that sound up a little bit and add a little bit more
Flavor.
dynamics
Yeah.
and yeah, it, then you would add a boost. So that was like Ride the Lightning. Then they go and they record the album. All right. Then you have at some point between then and when they started writing Master Puppets is when they found Mesa Boogie amps. And all of a sudden they started doing this thing where he bought this amp. It was called the Mark II C Plus Mesa Boogie. It was one of the earlier ones, but this was one of the first like true like high gain amplifiers that was available back in the mid 1980s that was created just for metal music because it was getting more
Huh.
popular in the mid 80s.
Oh.
So what Hetfield ended up doing for Master of Puppets is he connected the Mesa Boogie to the JMP that was modded to bypass the preamp section.
What? Really? Weird.
Yeah, and it basically like I don't know. That's how they ended up with that tone. So they call it slaving.
Was it going through both?
No, no. So guitar signal was going into the Mesa Boogie preamp section.
Okay.
That preamp section was being slaved directly into the Marshall
Oh,
power
oh,
amp
oh,
section.
oh, oh, okay. I got you. Okay. I was wondering.
Right.
Okay. All right. I got you. I'm with you now.
And
Okay.
then coming out of whatever 4x12 cabinet he
No
had
shit. Wow.
going on.
Huh.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
no, I was weird. I didn't I heard this, and then I learned a lot about doing this piece here because I knew they were into Mesa Boogies, but I didn't know that they combined them like that.
No. Uh-uh.
And we're going to see the this continued combining of different amps as we kind of move through the different albums, but even to like a greater degree than that.
But that tone was so different though when they did do that. It was a huge shift in their sound.
Oh yeah, in addition to all that, they used a parametric equalizer
Mm.
that James did, and to further sculpt the tones. So, like I said, it's you're not just getting the raw tone
Hmm.
on the finished product album. You're
Right.
getting something that's been excessively tweaked,
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
you know? And that was combination was used both live and in the studio. So when they recorded the album, and then when they went out to support Master Puppets, that was the live rig setup too. This setup persisted through Garage Days, revisited.
Okay.
Same type of slaving the Mesa Boogie Mark II C plus or plus plus, whatever it
I
is,
love that
into the
album.
JCM 800. So when I say JCM 800, I'm saying that interchangeably is the
Yeah,
JM.
it's amazing. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All right, so now we're up to Justice. All right, 1988. One of the amps that he was using, he called it the Crunchberries amp, and I think he cut out like the cardboard
Oh, for like
Crunchberries
that would
from
really.
the cereal, and he like taped it to the front of this one Mesa Boogie. And this Crunchberries amp is actually a very popular, it's like very well known. Everybody knows that that's the amp
Okay.
that was on all these albums. So he
Yeah.
used the Crunchberries Mesa Boogie. Um, Now they became a lot more complex on Justice with their sounds, with their tones.
Hmm.
And now all of a sudden you start seeing people starting to critique and complain about the sound that for example, it sounded too dry. It didn't sound right. When I
Oh,
first heard it, it was like being in heaven.
yeah.
But I didn't know what the hell I was listening to. It sounded heavy, and
Well, I
that was
mean,
good.
well, for me, I liked it because it has this stripped down quality to it.
Yeah,
It was more raw in a way, like, but
yeah,
raw, but also technical. Like you can
raw in
tell,
a good way.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like there was an evolution to it that it felt like a step forward. It didn't feel, you know what I mean? It didn't
Yep,
feel like they were going back to some old school thing. It felt
right,
like a next step to me.
correct.
So yeah, and they're in the evolution of their sound. So I actually really like the sound of Justice,
Yeah,
except for there being no bass on it. But aside
except for
from
there
that,
being no bass. That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yep.
a bass
And
player,
that's a
so
whole other story by
yeah, that's a
itself.
whole other podcast.
Uh, they used um, that Mesa Boogie as a preamp section, like I mentioned, and they sent it into something called a power amp. A Mesa Boogie power amp is called a Strategy 400.
Hmm.
So they no longer needed to slave it through the Marshall. So
Okay.
now we had like two distinct Mesa Boogie components, right? The actual amp head itself.
Okay.
And so he was slaving it just not through the Marshall, and it was going into the Strategy 400 power amp. Uh,
Okay. Huh.
I don't
Weird.
know how, like,
Wow.
who knows? You know how it gets when, you have time on your hands, you're writing an album, you're trying a bunch of different
Oh
things.
yeah.
We did it when we were in the studio, and
Oh
I
well,
tried a bunch of different shit.
I used to work in a studio called Susquehanna Sound in northern Pennsylvania. I used to work in there as an assistant engineer. We spent one day, 10 hours just on drum sounds.
I believe it.
That's all we did. We just moved
Yeah.
mics around. We were going back to the board and then,
Yeah.
just changing all this shit. And then 10 hours, that's all we did was work on that drum sound and that was it. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
but
it.
it's worth it in the end if you can
Oh, it
do it
sounded
right.
great, but it was just
Yeah.
it's a bitch to get there, but yeah.
It's
So,
very tedious. That's true.
yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And the same thing happens with, you know, getting a usable guitar tone.
Right. Oh,
So
100%. Yeah, it's every bit as strenuous. Yeah.
I think that that's how he came across the using the Mesa Boogie power
They were
amp
doing
like
some
that.
alchemy shit in there, man.
Yeah, yeah. And now you have also he was getting a little more creative with the clean tones.
Mm.
Clean tone. So for example, um, there's a couple songs on Justice where you have just like clean guitars, and for that he's using a Roland amp,
Mm.
which is
Okay.
it's a JC 120, which is it's
Really?
known for its clean tone.
Okay.
So
Oh,
as they were trying,
that makes sense for a Roland. That actually does make sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, this amp later found itself on the road as well
Mm.
that they were using. So like if their live shows were so tightly managed that they were able to just say, I want to do this, and then I want this to happen at this song, and the technicians, they figure everything out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they build you a foot controller that you say, oh, really? Okay, if they want that for your lead tone,
Hit
press
this.
button two.
Yeah, there you go.
When you want to go to clean, and you'll use a different amp, and you press button three, and it's custom tailored to your needs, and
Yep.
that's what they did for him. So basically, he was using the Mesa into the power amp, and then for the cleans, the Roland JC 120 for the clean sections.
That's awesome.
Also graphic equalizer plus a parametric equalizer in the loop that they used. There was no reverb
Hmm.
at all. And then there was also lots of post-processing EQ.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So that's how they kind of tailored the Justice tone. So it
Hmm.
even though it sounds raw like that,
Hmm.
it was heavily sculpted.
Hmm. Def-
So
yeah, sculpted into a raw form.
yes, yeah, yep, no complaints.
Interesting though, but now that you say that, that totally makes sense of why it sounds so thin. Because I never put together, my engineering brain didn't put that together that there was no reverb on what they were doing. But that makes a lot of sense.
None at all.
Shit. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
interesting.
neat. So now we get to the polarizing self-titled Black Album
The Black Album. Yeah.
and the introduction of Bob Rock running things,
Yep.
uh, and them basically taking a totally different songwriting approach.
Yeah.
I remember being pissed off at the time because I'm like, great, great. Right when I start heavily getting into Metallica, go and change the formula. I couldn't
Yeah.
make one more heavy as fuck brutal album
Right, right, right,
that
right.
I could go
Yeah,
see
and the
live in
direction they're
concert.
going is definitely more mainstream at that point.
Oh,
So
definitely.
when they were going kind of brutal, and then yeah, because it seemed like they were like it seems like they were building up to something more fast
Yeah,
with Justice, and then especially with like Black and then some of the heavier songs on there, and then all of a sudden this left turn, and it almost feels like a radio album.
that's right. That's right.
So
And they
it's just
laughed
like
all the way to the bank.
yeah, well, it was heavy. I mean, it was heavy in a different direction, heavy.
Yeah,
But that's that Bob Rock influence where he knows how to deliver that big cavernous kind of sound in his
the
studio
wall
down
of
in
sound. Yep.
Hawaii.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's I think that's probably they wanted to go down to Hawaii and record with him, but yeah, that's where his studio is. But it's one of those things where he gets that just like that massive like stadium sound.
Yeah. It was larger than life.
Yeah, he did that with Motley Crue.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
right.
like Theater Pain and stuff like that was him, just building up, there. Yeah.
Hmm.
So now, what were the amps on that though? Well, how did the rigs change?
Uh, uh, this was a slightly different makeup of amps. Now we're getting into the territory of them starting to use more than just one or two
Hmm.
things, right? So they're using his main tone came from Crunchberries,
Oh, okay. Still using
that
crunch berries.
Mesa.
Okay.
There was also they also got a Mark IV Mesa Boogie
Hmm.
that's involved in this. A Mesa Boogie Strategy 400 power amp, like in the previous album.
Okay.
They had the modded 800 that they added in to flavor things a little bit,
Okay.
as well as an 80A MP1 preamp. Although I don't couldn't figure out if that was something that Kirk was using the 80A preamp.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I think it might have just been Kirk using that.
Well, that's
So the
interesting
main
because so it doesn't sound like it was a big leap in terms of a change of equipment. So,
no,
but it does, but that just goes to illustrate the point about how much of an impact the engineer has, and also where they recorded the studio they recorded in, because that's
yeah,
album is so dynamically different from anything they did in the past.
yeah,
And
totally
then
different sound.
yeah, but it sounds like the gear was almost like the same.
Yeah, and because it was his hands, turning the knobs,
Yeah.
and I think they was saying in interviews, if I remember from back then, that they were like, how can you expect us to keep putting the same material out
Well, yeah, no,
over
I
and
don't,
over
I
again?
don't blame that evolution of sound at all.
Yeah,
It was just an interesting departure from where they were and where they went, and
yeah,
then just that severity of the sound change. But it was just interesting to hear that the gear is like, because I expect you to say, oh, well, they switched over to this amp then, and then they did this, and I expected all these changes. I'm like, it's basically the same list. So I mean, the one
yeah.
preamp's a little bit different, but I mean, aside from that, that wouldn't have changed the sounded that drastically.
No,
So that
no.
had to be that was more Bob Rock and then his
That was
influence.
the studio magic doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
totally. Huh.
very interesting.
Yeah.
They even they had the equipment manager. I can't remember the guy's name. He was stuffing foam and blankets around the speaker cabs to aid with sound isolation.
Yeah.
Right? And then after this album got recorded, they built these actual speaker coffins that the speaker cabs would sit in to isolate themselves.
Oh, like a
Yeah, it was
little
kind of neat.
ISO booth for the cabinet. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow,
So that
crazy.
started after the Black Album.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Well, you may
Interesting.
not, I don't know if you'll see that in like I didn't watch any of the behind the scenes stuff that's come out over the last 20 years where they're
Yeah.
in the studio and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah.
You might see it on there.
Okay. Huh. I'll have to
So
take a look for that.
so that lasted them for a good 5 years. You remember how long that tour was?
Oh, yeah.
It went around the world like three
I
fucking
saw them
times.
twice on that tour.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
Yep.
I and they were, and like you said, they were heavy as fuck. I had
Yep.
no problems with. I mean, I said as long as they play older material too, then
Yeah.
I'll be happy as shit.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
did.
And they did. Yeah.
So, so 5 years passes. As you know, a lot of shit was changing between 1991 and 95, 96 as far as music tastes were
Oh,
concerned.
yeah, for sure.
We're leaving metal behind.
Mm.
Grunge came pretty much took over.
Hmm.
And I think they saw that there really wasn't a place for the type of metal that, the Saxon
Mm.
of the Saxons of the world were doing in the 80s. Like nobody was into that stuff anymore.
Right.
And they're trying to make a living, so I can kind of understand that. So now we're at 96 and we're talking about Load. I'm going to do two of these together. Load in 96 and Reload in 97.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
This is when they discovered mid-range frequencies and stopped scooping the hell out of everything.
That's such an accurate statement. That's so
Right?
funny. Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Load.
where they discovered
Well, I mean,
mid-range frequencies.
and then
Oh
if
my
you
God.
if you listen to it, it's like this is a drastically different guitar
Oh,
tone.
you're right though. That's such an apt description where their sound went though.
Yeah.
It's like they
Yeah.
just figured it out. It's like, hey, wait a minute, there's a bunch of midtones here and mid frequencies we can work on. So
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so keep going. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. Well, now they're changing equipment around a little bit. Load was described as AA meetings and band drama. I always look for the people that like make these comments and the different posts.
He means a bitch.
But so now they're
Oh,
using
God.
something called the Mesa Boogie Triaxis.
Hmm.
Triaxis is a preamp. It's a rack mounted preamp unit
Hmm.
into um, the Mesa Boogie Mark II C plus, or maybe not into it, but they used it with it.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
So they still had the Strategy 400 power amp on load. They were still using so the Triaxis as a preamp had to have a power amp to go into, and it was going into this Strategy 400 thing. So kind of the same makeup.
Hmm.
A Mesa rack mounted Q and a Jose modded Marshall Super Lead.
Hmm.
So at that point, this guy had just passed away in like '94, Jose Arredondo, and so they managed to get one. And I think this is at the point that Kirk was supposed to have Jose mod his Marshall too, but the guy passed away before he could finish it.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So interestingly, uh, this guy has like a lot of there's a lot of lore about Jose
Hmm.
and the mods that he did where he was adding a gain stage and doing other things like adding clipping diodes and stuff. But you've heard of Friedman amps, right?
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
So the guy Friedman obviously knows who this guy was, and he got himself one of these Jose modded amps, and he studied it. He took it apart and studied it,
Oh,
and
cool.
now you can buy a Friedman amplification Jose mod
Oh,
version of their. I forgot which amp head it
oh,
is,
that's cool.
but it's the exact same modification if you want that.
Right on. Oh, that's
But that
cool.
head's like $3,700.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. So that was those were the main items that we used on load. The Mesa Boogie Triaxis preamp into the Strategy 400 power amp, the Mesa Boogie Mark II C Plus, which is the Crunchberries amp, the Marshall Super Lead that had the mod on it, plus the Mesa rack mount equalizer. Now, this is where they start getting a little nuts with the outside equipment. They
Hmm.
also used a matchless amp, a little combo matchless amp, like a 15-watt matchless,
For
because
what?
they wanted to fatten up the tone a little bit. They didn't
Oh.
want it to be so, compressed.
Oh.
And
Huh.
apparently, this Bob Rock guy is a tremendous collector of vintage gear.
Huh.
So
Huh.
of course, he goes and he digs out a bunch of this old classic shit. Here, guys, try this shit. One thing was the matchless amp.
Huh.
Another amp that's on that album is a Fender Twin. I had
Hmm.
no fucking idea.
There's a Fender Twin on that. No shit.
In there, yeah.
Huh.
There's also a Vox AC30 in there.
Wow. They were getting old school. There's a
Yeah.
Vox in there too. Damn.
And they introduced the Mesa Boogie triple rectifier.
Huh.
This is right around the time when the triple rec was coming out. These were like the Mesa Boogies of the 90s, the dual recs and the
Hmm.
triple
Oh,
rec.
okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah, so they say they, put a bunch of all these things together, and then they added these really wild boutique kind of amps.
Hmm.
Not so much boutique, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just atypical amps for
Yeah.
metal
Yeah. For
tone,
sure. Yeah. For
guitar
sure.
tone. So that's kind of like that was in it was a very intentional move away from the way that they was you used to doing things. And the other departure that they made with Load was all of a sudden James started having Kirk write riffs. He had him start writing parts. He
Oh.
never had him do that.
Huh.
And like they started like co-writing.
Okay.
It was crazy. So he wasn't just like doing solos anymore. It was Kirk wrote a lot of riffs on Load for the first time, tracked rhythm parts.
No shit.
So
Huh.
you
I
know
didn't
how
realize. I
like
didn't
before
realize he
this,
played. Well, I didn't realize he played such a uh, sort of a side role to James that way, where James was just,
kind of did,
yeah, that's interesting. I didn't
kind of
realize.
did.
Okay. Huh.
I mean, I'm not going to say that there are no Kirk riffs anywhere. I don't know their music that well to know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but it's like 98%
But
James
mainly James. Wow.
up till
Interesting.
now,
Okay.
right? And
Huh.
so this is the first time that he's letting Kirk track in the studio.
Hmm.
Because the way they used to do it was he would track all of the rhythms
Eh,
himself.
Oh, okay. And then he was just
You know
coming
what
for
I'm
the
saying?
leads, and
And
then Hammond was just
yeah,
coming for the leads. Okay. Gotcha.
Kirk is no
Huh.
slouch of a player.
No.
I've watched him play Master of Puppets, and he's tight as fuck. He's at least as tight as I used to be when I learned the song in high school. So he's no slouch,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But this is the first time that he actually like recorded
Huh.
rhythm
I'll be
sections
damned. I didn't know that.
in the studio. Yeah, so it was pretty neat. Um, so now we move to Reload, and there's a slight shift where they start using something called the Wizard amp.
Hmm.
Wizards are, I think that's the amp that Tony Iommi uses.
Oh, okay.
So they use the Wizard Modern Classic as the main amp, but
Hmm.
they still had the Mesa Boogie Triaxis into the Strategy 400. They still had the Mesa Boogie Crunchberries. They still used the Mesa Boogie Rectifier as a blender, blending it in,
Hmm.
as well as the modded Marshall and the Roland JC 120. So now you have a veritable soup of amplifiers, and it just, it works. I listened to some of Reload. I've never really sat down to listen to it. It's not bad. I don't really dig the songs, but like
Yeah,
the
no, it's not.
production
Yeah,
is okay.
it's okay. Yeah,
But yeah, they're not the band that put out,
it's kind of generic sounding though. That's when their sound just kind of got like, I don't know, boring to me.
Yeah, I was very bored listening to it.
It was just kind of
Yeah.
like studio. It was over studio-ish, I think. I don't know how else to put
Yes.
that. You know what I mean? Overproduced would be, I guess, the description.
And that kind of goes against, I think, what they were going for, because they wanted it was very by design, by intention, they wanted a looser guitar sound. And he even said, um, I was having I wanted a more expanded
Well,
sound stage of our rhythms, but I couldn't just get that by doubling
well,
what
that
I was
makes
doing.
sense though too, because their style at that time definitely went more bluesy.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
that would make sense that they want more of a loose guitar, not such a tight,
that's right.
process.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
those were really not like metal riffs
Yeah, well,
on
they weren't
those
really
albums.
metal albums either.
Yeah,
So we're like hard
yeah, but
rock
I mean,
albums.
for a hard rock band, it wasn't bad. I've heard a lot worse than that.
Yeah,
So for
but
whatever that's
then
worth,
they should have changed their names for those two albums to Hard Rockica.
yeah. Oh, heard many people say that. All right, well, let's move to the high point
Oh
of
boy.
your same thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the high point, all right.
All right, also described as plugins and sadness.
Plugins and sadness.
Yeah.
That's great.
I have a veritable smorgasbord of guitar amplification units. You have James's rig, which was the Mesa Boogie. He added a something called a Diesel VH4.
Hmm.
Um, I've heard of diesel amps. They're very expensive, but they're also very high gain. They
Hmm.
have a very distinct sound to them. He also had the Wizard and also had the modded Marshall. So he's
Okay.
got four different things cooking in that soup of his.
Yeah.
Kirk had the Mesa Boogie. He also had his Marshall. He also used the Vox,
Huh.
also used a Park amplifier, which
Park?
is not a metal amp.
Huh.
It's
I don't
something
think
else
I've ever, I
called.
know you know Park. I never heard of that one.
I've heard of them. Just I've never played through one.
Hmm.
I think it's like I think it's an actual like kind of boutique amp. I don't
Oh
know.
shit. Like a jazz app or something.
Yeah, maybe. It's
Hmm.
definitely not a high gain amp by any
Huh.
means.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
there strictly for um coloring the tone a little bit.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. And then I guess he used something else called an H&H amp. I don't know what that is, never heard of it.
Hmm.
And didn't have time to
H
go
and
down.
H. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. No reverb on any of the guitars, totally dry. So
Hmm.
when you talked earlier about that raw tone,
Mm-hmm.
this is where it all went bad
Hmm.
because I tried listening to Saint Anger today. I never did. You know
Oh.
that I never listened to
You
Saint
never
Anger?
listened to that before?
I was afraid.
Oh, were your fears confirmed?
Yes, they were.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
horrible album. It's so
It was
bad.
like, oh, okay, so the guitars are not too, and then I kept hearing clang, 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 clang.
Ugh.
And I just thought, if you wanted to redo Garage Days, there's other ways to go about that. Because I got that they were going for that sound, but I mean, the
Oh,
drum sound, my
oh
God,
man,
ruined
everything,
everything.
everything. The tone of that whole album's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it. So,
No.
no
Yeah.
point to me. By that point, I was fully out of Metallica
Yeah,
anyway.
same here. Yeah, yeah.
I heard about it long after the fact, and I'm like, oh, they put an album out? Oh well, because they lost me
Well,
at Load.
Load I was slipping on, and then Reload I was out, and then Saint
Yeah,
Anger I listened to once, and I'm like, never again.
yeah.
I never
Nope,
need to listen to that album again, ever.
nope. All
No.
done. All right, Death Magnetic, A Return to Form.
Yes, that was a much better album.
James had a Boogie as his main. The Mark II C plus, the Crunchberries amp was the main guitar, the main amp. Then also there was an Ampeg in there. There
Hmm.
was a Krankenstein,
Huh.
another high gain amp from the early 2000s.
Okay.
Uh, you don't see too many of them around anymore, but I don't know if they're tube or solid state. And the Diesel VH4.
It's funny you
Uh,
say that because I have
yeah.
an Ampeg bass amp right there,
Oh, okay.
and it's got the collapsible tube head that collapses down in the cabinet.
Oh man, you're gonna have to bring that out at
And
some
it
point.
even lights up. There's a light that'll light up the tubes in the rack when I open it up.
Yeah,
So yeah, it flips down inside the cabinet, and then there's the matching base for it.
it has a matching bass. That's badass.
Yeah, it's this base right here. And then
Oh,
look at the
look at
headstock.
that. Look at that. Like
Okay,
a
now we'll
bass
do
head.
it. We have to do a guitar episode at some point too, but just a little precursor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to this
yeah,
one. And then this one has a longer story to it that I'll reveal at another time, but I'll drop a hint. Okay.
yeah.
So here's the hint. Then I'll build out the story later. But
Yeah.
um, this amp is very unique. I haven't seen many of these, and I did see it in a music video though. If you watch Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll,
Yeah.
the bass player is playing one of these, right?
Okay.
Here's the interesting thing that's part of that.
What? Oh, I remember that story. Yes, you're going to have to say that story when we have more time.
So we'll come back to that story later. I don't want to disrupt your amp
No,
discussion.
it's all right. We'll leave
But
that
yeah, so
hanging.
right here is the matching amp for it too, right here. So so some other time I can break that out and try to display it or something. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so but yeah, I get it. Well, that one is the bass amp, but I'd be kind of curious what his sounded like. But yeah,
It was a solid state Ampeg,
okay,
uh,
all right, right on.
160, I think it was called, the 160 Supreme or something. I don't
Mm.
know. Um, so Crunchberries was the primary tone on Death Magnetic, which I like that album,
Yeah,
actually. I can listen to that. I
yeah,
listen
that
to
was a
Breaking
definitely a listenable
Leaves.
album compared to like the other three or four albums they did prior to that. So that was
Right.
definitely a return to, well, and it reminded me when I listened to it, it had a vibe of like not tonally, but songwriting wise, it had this return to me of like Justice a bit,
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
stylistically speaking.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they weren't the same songs, but you
No,
could
no,
just,
no, 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 no. But I mean, it felt like they were trying to go back to that, like
yeah,
that era a little bit more of their songwriting.
that had to be because of the backlash from the previous.
That's what I would have thought because it was almost like they were trying to get their integrity back a little bit on that album. To
Agree
me,
with
at
that.
least, I don't know if that's anything to do with anything, but that's kind of what I felt as a fan
Yeah.
when I heard that album and then and learned more about it. It kind of felt like they were trying to get something back from before. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
would totally agree with that. And
yeah,
but also you have the other aspect of Newstead being out.
yes,
I forgot when he left, but a lot of people were pissed off because they gave him so much shit because he had done some kind of side project,
yeah,
and put out a demo, and like James and Lars had a fit.
yeah,
Go outside bands.
yeah. Well, they came out later and they kind of admitted that they were really taking out Cliff's death on him a lot. So that's where a lot of that animosity came from and why
Oh
you
yeah, I
couldn't hear
read
him
that.
on Justice and stuff like that. They were just like emotionally going through a lot of rough times with that. And
Right.
unfortunately, they directed it all at him.
Oh,
They actually
totally.
came out and said that. So
Yep.
I think that was also part of like, what motivated a lot of the stuff that they were doing sound wise and studio wise and
Right.
things like that too. So
They definitely hazed the shit out of him
oh
when he
yeah.
first got in the band. I read that they played all kinds of like nasty ass pranks on him and shit, and
Yeah.
then
They were real
let him
dicks
out
to
of
him.
it.
I mean, yeah, they were asses
Yeah.
about it. So yeah.
But I thought that would have died out by 3 albums later. I guess
No, they just kind of kept it going. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know.
So yeah.
But I know a lot of people were not happy about his departure, and I think that also was something they were thinking about
Mm,
after, when they were starting to do Death Magnetic.
yeah.
Well, the right around that time, so that's 2008. About 2010, the fractal axe effects comes into the picture, right?
Okay.
And you first start seeing it um, where James is using it to blend the tones from the Mesa Boogie and the Diesel amps together, right? And it was just so much more tunable
Mm,
in the fractal to instead of doing it like the hardware version of it, where physically connecting the amps and all that. Now you're using these plugins,
hmm
and it sounds pretty damn spot on.
hmm
So they didn't do any live shows with the fractals until about 2013, but by 2013 it had gained a foothold in their arsenal of amp stuff. At this time, this is when Kirk got together and got an endorsement deal with Randall Amps,
Oh,
which he
okay.
used for several albums, but not exclusively. Like, so he
Mm,
would mix it with like the Mesa and
right, right.
that, or the Marshall. He used these for touring and recording in addition to the Mesas.
Hmm.
That's that's that. And then you have, I didn't even know this album existed. This is how fucking out of the loop I've been. This Hardwired to Self-Destruct in 2016. Yeah.
I am confessing that I have not learned about that album until you just said it right now.
Yeah. I knew nothing about it.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was a thing between that and the new yellow M72 or whatever the hell it's called.
The 72 seasons or whatever.
72 Seasons. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was another album between. Wow, boy, I'm out
yeah.
of the loop too. What's it called again?
It's called Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
Oh my God, I had no idea. What's is it? Have you listened to it?
Isn't that the album that has that song, what is it, Fuel on it? Give
I
me
thought
fuel, give
Fuel
me
was on
fire.
Reload or something or Load.
Oh, maybe it is. You're right. You're right. Never mind. Never
I thought,
mind.
yeah, I think
You're
Fuel was
right.
on there. But
You're right.
did you listen to that album? This other one you're talking about?
Yeah, I wasn't that. It was okay. It
Huh.
wasn't bad. It just, again, it was just kind of
Does it remind
boring.
you of anything? Like because Death Magnetic reminds me of Justice a little bit.
Yeah.
Does this other album remind you of anything of theirs?
No, no.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to say like, oh, it stands
Weird.
on its own. I mean, I'm not saying it sounds unique. It just,
Huh.
it's there and it's not bad.
I'll have to look. I'll have to hunt that one down. I haven't even listened to the new one, the latest one, because I'm kind of at that. I don't give a shit about Metallica stage, and
Yeah.
there's so many other albums I want to listen to that it's a time factor for me too.
Totally.
I only have so much time in
Totally.
the day, and I'd rather listen to something that I'm really jazzed about than just listen to another
100%.
Metallica. Yeah, then I really listen to some Metallica thing I don't give a shit about. So interesting. I gotta go look this album up.
And it's not, the equipment is very similar to what they used previously.
Okay. Huh.
This is 2016, so they had the Crunch Berries was blended with the Diesel. That's what the tone is, the bedrock of the tone, with the Jose modded Marshalls sprinkled in to taste. And then Kirk is using his Randalls mixed in with his Marshalls. So interesting, but again, it's just another album of, okay, when are we getting back to the real metal,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Yeah. Ugh.
Now we're getting to 72 Seasons. This is 2023.
Yeah.
One comment I found about this album was it's hardwired but less heavy. And then the person right after him said, dude, it's literally heavier than Hardwire's tone. This is what I was speaking about in the beginning of like the wide variation of like people's opinions on the internet. So you
Yeah,
have to be
yeah,
careful about what you read. And
yeah.
I was trying to sift through all of the chaff to get to, what's the
The
real
heart
meat and
of,
potatoes
yeah.
of what they were actually using, who really fucking knows versus who's talking out of their ass.
Well,
Right.
what did you listen to the album?
I did.
What'd you
And
think?
I actually will listen to the whole thing.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's
Okay.
it's it's not
It's
bad.
okay.
I said, damn, actually, these first, I listened to the first three songs and I said, this actually kept my attention. The riffs are
Oh,
not bad,
okay.
but it's a different Metallica we're talking about.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with this. Live, they use the Axe Effects studio using all the analog gear, right?
Mm.
They're not using the modeler in
Oh,
the,
they're not using the plugins and stuff this time.
yep.
Okay.
On this amp, the Jose modded Marshall Super Lead is used on every single song. It's blended with the Mesa Boogie, Crunch Berries, the Diesel VH4, and the Wizard Modern Classic. How can you have that many amps for one fucking guitar tone? And this is also going back to what I was saying about like the tricks used in the studio. One of
Yeah.
the things that you do, I'm sure you know, is like you layer guitars. You
Oh
don't just
yeah.
record
Yeah,
one
you do
guitar
yeah,
track,
you
right?
do overdub and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was doing like, three, four, five guitar tracks and
Mm.
smashed them all together. And
Hmm.
not only that, on last several albums, he talked about how many mics they used to mic the
Oh my
amp.
God, I can't imagine.
Like 10, 8 to 10 SM57s
Jesus
on
Christ.
on the cabinet. And I'm like, how could you? I get like one by the cone and one for
You had
room
eight
noise,
or
but
ton on one amp?
that's what
Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Even something like from an engineering standpoint, I don't know where they were going with that, what they were hoping to achieve with it. If they're different model mics, that would make a
right.
little more sense. But the
Right.
same model mic that like an SM58 or whatever they were using, why the hell would you have more than two? I don't get that.
I don't know. I don't know if in that example, I don't know if all 10 were SM57s, but there were multiple SM57s, and
Jesus
then there could
Christ.
have been some
I
other
mean,
mics.
if they kind of were positioned them like greater distances and getting more room tone in between the amp and the mic and stuff like that,
Yeah,
that makes sense. But if they're all on the same amp and around the same positioning, that doesn't make any sense why they would want that.
I don't
Unless that
know.
was Well, that might have been one of those musician things where they were telling the engineer what to do, and the engineer's like, okay, but knowing that it's bullshit.
It could have been that. I think he did make a comment about something about the making the microphones be out of phase or in phase. I don't
Oh,
remember which. It
okay. Yeah,
had
I
to
kind
do
of know
with
what
the,
I know what they're talking about on that. Yeah. But
yeah,
you
and it
don't
was like
need
the
like yeah, but you still don't need like 10 mics for that. That's
yeah,
absurd. So yeah, I mean two mics would do the same kind of trick, but
exactly. A little dab will do you, for
yeah, you
God's
don't need
sake.
like why do you need like 10? So whatever. So I don't know. That just sounds like them like masturbating in the studio to me. That's just like,
Oh,
you know,
Kirk is a total gear whore, man.
yeah.
He's even admitted it. He's like, I have all kinds of electronic gadgets at my house. So when new guitar gear comes out, he bought all this shit in the 90s, all of these like effects units and rack units and
Yeah, yeah.
some of the descriptions I read about what he kind of system he was running was like, you lost me. You play the lead guitar. Just fucking play, man. So I don't know. It was quite, and now like Kirk owns a 58 or 59 Les Paul, and the thing
The,
is gorgeous.
are you talking about the green one?
Greeny.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it. I know what you're talking about. I remember when he bought that guitar. I read about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, if you need to buy a house, just sell that guitar.
Yeah.
But he is so far down the fucking rabbit hole with his
Yeah.
guitars collecting and vintage amp stuff. And it gets very addictive. I mean, you see,
Oh,
what I'm doing, it's like,
hey. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I know. I get it. So I
yeah.
get it. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
So that's their
you're a few
story.
guitars worse than I am. That's for sure.
Oh, it's just merely a
But
stop and pop thing.
I've had a lot of basses over the years. So I've had a collection, BC Riches and
Yeah.
Gibsons, whatever.
You
So
know how to get rid of stuff.
I do. Yeah, I was actually pretty. Yeah, well, sort of. I still have some lingering here that I'll never get
Oh,
rid
all
of.
right.
But no, I was not too bad with trading stuff in and that kind of thing. So it was easier for me to let go. That's for sure.
Right on, right on.
Well, thank you for the gear overview, the history that was awesome.
Yeah, I
And then,
enjoyed it very
well,
much.
me too, because like listening to go through the descriptions, every time you talked about it, I was listening to the sound in my head of those albums and going, oh yeah, that kind of connects the dots.
Yeah,
Because, when they went from like a good example was when they went from, say, Lightning to Puppets,
puppets. Yeah,
they went to the Mesa Boogies at that point, and then the sound got so much fuller.
yes,
You heard it. Like, I
that's
mean,
right.
it got really big at that point,
That's right.
comparatively to the first two albums. Like, because they sound, of course, now, of course, you're also talking about like lower production, costs and things like that played a role.
Right.
The studios always play a big role. But that sound, though, because I mean, the guitarist, one of my best friends, the guitarist of my band, Red, my friend Paul. I was working with him like over the last 20 years or however old we are now. And then he had that same evolution in gear. So he
Yeah.
went from like a Marshall, then he went to like then he was a Mesa Boogie, then he went to Hughes and Kettner for a while, and then stuff
Okay.
like that. And we even did this crazy trick when we played live, where we would run his H&K cabinet direct into the board, and then they would mic my bass cabinet instead. So we were like the opposite of normally how you did it.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
shit.
the reason we did that was because I used to use pedals and I had this Altec cabinet and stuff that had this unique sound to it. So I wanted the bass sound. I didn't want the direct sound. So we used to mic my bass cabinet, but then his H&K amp just sounded so freaking amazing that
Yeah.
it was just easier to run it more cleanly into the board to get a more of a pure sound out of it. So, so you find all these rigs just from your own stuff, and
Yep.
so hearing all that was kind of a cool, return to that. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for all that research, man. That was
Oh
awesome.
man, I should have done that 30 years ago. Well, as they evolved, it's just like I remember when a buddy of mine was saying, he goes, you know that they used maces on puppets, right? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I didn't know because
Yeah.
I all I knew was the poster that I had up in my studio of them playing live, and there's a wall of Marshalls
Marshalls.
behind
Yeah,
me.
it's Marshall, Marshall, Marshall. It's always
Yeah,
Marshall.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah. All
But
right.
yeah, so it was nice to know about it.
Well, we'll do more future gear episodes because I would love to do a guitar episode with you.
Cool.
That's gonna be fun. So we can do guitars and some stuff, basses, whatever.
I like fun.
All right. So I guess we will move on then to Music news. I'm still looking for that goddamn sound.
Damn
All
it.
right. I still haven't found it yet. All right. Anyway, so you saw the articles I sent you. What did you think about that Live Nation prize gouging article? Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, that didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
Well, yeah, 100%.
But I mean, to have people just recklessly laughing about how people are getting screwed by it.
Yeah. So the article was about Live Nation, and they found out this sort of behind the scenes thing where they found out that not only were they gouging fans, which again, as you pointed out, we all knew,
Hmm.
but then they found out that people that worked there were actually it's so flagrant that they're just making fun of the people, they're making fun of the fans for being
Right.
so stupid and
To
being
pay that
robbed
much money.
blind. Yeah, they're robbing them blind, and they're actually admitted to that.
Yeah.
And then, and it's all these private messages that came out as a result of their, of their flagrant, of their just like of their behavior, basically.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what can be done about it though. Like I know a lot of the concerts I go to here locally in Portland have nothing to do with Live Nation, which
Oh,
is
right.
one way to circumvent is just to avoid their concerts. But
Right.
then you go to some concert though that is like an artist that you really are like I went to see the ELO like farewell tour
Oh,
and stuff
right.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And you're stuck with Live Nation. Like what else are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
There's no other.
So I don't
Uh,
know what else to do about that. I mean, artists like Pearl Jam have come out against those guys, but it's like, there's only I don't know how to stop that.
I don't know. There is no answer. Well, the answer lies in something that people would not commit to doing, which is not supporting artists that use Live Nation.
Yeah,
And that's really what it has to come down to, because this is capitalism at work.
yeah,
And these fucking companies, man, all they understand is, oh, we're not making money.
yeah,
Now we have to make a change.
yeah,
But until they come to that realization, it's fuck you, buddy. You're paying what I tell you to pay.
yeah, yeah. With all those like outrageous fees that they charge, I mean, it's like it's no wonder that these concerts get so ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
the
the
cheap
bands
seats.
can't even make money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The bands aren't making any money, so it's like all going to the corporations that run this shit. So
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
fucking terrible, man. Yeah,
I've
see,
read just in the past, I don't know, 6 months of like two fairly large acts that are basically saying, sorry, we can't really go out on tour anymore. We've crunched the numbers and it's just gotten too expensive. And, it made me think like, how the hell did bands put on big ass world tours with multiple buses,
yeah.
dozens of trucks, like when AC/DC would do a world tour? How much money could that possibly have
Oh,
cost? But
big
they
time.
made it work and they
Yeah.
made money.
And they made money. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Different world now. Yeah, because I read that too. One of the bands I read that won't tour anymore. I think it was the Cranberries or somebody. They were saying like they just can't afford it. Like
yeah,
they can kind of play regionally like around where they live,
right,
but they
right.
can't do a big tour because it's just the cost and the offset just doesn't make any sense. That
That's
also
right.
happened with Category 7. That side
Okay.
project with John Bush and Phil
Oh,
DeMel and those guys. They wanted to do a tour, but then they're like, we crunched the numbers and we can't do it. It's
yeah.
going to cost us money. So they're like, we can't tour. So yeah, it sucks.
Like you said, it's a different world and it's not in favor of human happiness.
Or artists for that matter.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's all in favor of greed.
yeah.
It's no
So
different than the private equity funds that buy up, hospital groups
yep,
and
yep, yep,
things that you wouldn't, your 401k.
yep,
The fuck are you doing buying my 401k up, man?
yep,
Leave it alone.
yep. The same thing with these big venues and stuff. So just another case for supporting local artists and smaller shows whenever you can.
There you go.
All right. So did you see that there's also a Netflix of metal called Thunderflix?
I didn't know about it until you mentioned it, and I checked it out,
Did
and
you?
it
What'd
looks
you think?
pretty neat. Yeah, it's funny because they said the subscription fee is 666 for the first month or something, and then it's like $66.66 for a year.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? I
I
didn't
think
see that.
so.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny. I don't know. I was looking at the lineup. I was like, there's some cool shit on here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I was kind of
It's not stuff that
surprised.
I would watch.
I was
It's got
finally,
documentaries, it's got
yep,
concert footage,
yep. It's got a lot of
video.
music video stuff on there.
Yeah,
So, and some of the acts were like, they got some obscure shit on there. I was like, I was fairly impressed. So, check
yeah.
out thunderflix.com.
There you
So the
go.
Netflix of metal, if anybody's interested in that. Who knew, right? All right. So Elder, new album coming out by them. Should be out in
Can't
May.
wait.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
wait. I
now by the
listened.
time this podcast is out, the album will be out. It's called
Yeah,
Through Zero. So,
I listened to the song that they released over the weekend, and man,
oh, I didn't hear that. Is it good?
mashed my face in.
Is it good?
Oh, the melodies are so perfectly perfect in that.
I love that band.
You'll dig it, man.
Cool. I
I like Floating World. Is that the name of the album that they
I think so. That
Reflections
sounds,
of a Floating World or something?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, no, that like that. I've been really getting into them. It would be amazing to see Elder tour with Pelican and Ulver.
Oh,
That,
that would be
wouldn't
badass.
that be a killer tour? That'd be
Yeah,
or with Sun or somebody like that. That the big sort of instrumental tour. That'd be badass, man. So so we'll see
I'd be
about.
down with that. Pelican and if it only included Russian circles, man, I'd dig
There
that,
you
man.
go. There you go. All right. So did you see that former Misfits frontman Michael Graves signed with a Christian record label?
I don't know anything about him.
Do you know who he is?
I know he was the singer for Misfits,
Right.
but
Okay.
I don't know. I never heard him sing, so
Well, oh, you never heard him sing?
no.
Oh, okay. Their album Famous Monsters is really good.
Okay,
So if you're like, if you like the Misfits at all, now it's of course it's not, Danzig era or anything, but
right,
but
right.
I saw them in CBGBs with him, with Graves, and they were fabulous. That was the show that Scott Ian jumped up on stage with them and stuff like that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I saw him at CBGBs in the 90s and then
Oh,
was with him.
wow. That was right
Yeah,
before they closed.
yeah, it was with him. And then Scott Ian from Anthrax got on stage with him for like four songs, and then that was awesome.
Damn.
And then yeah, so I got to see that show. And I was like right up front. So, but yeah, they were really good. But then I guess he got kind of again, we're not going to get political, but he got
Yeah.
kind of MAGA Trumpy, I guess. And he
Okay.
and he and he's doing a God Bless America tour, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But I did see that his tour or dates, at least in the UK, were canceled because he of his political views. So and now
No
he's acting like
kidding.
yeah, and he's acting like the victim now. He's like, oh well, they're coming after me, whatever, and I can't play anywhere. So just heads up.
No.
Yeah,
He made his bed, he's got to lie in it.
he did. Ross the Boss Friedman from Manowar and The Dictators passed away recently,
All that.
72.
Yeah.
So there was Ross the Boss.
It's only 20 years away from me.
Were you a Manowar guy?
No.
No, didn't get into the big epic war metal of Manowar.
No, no,
No, okay.
no. But I watched when he passed, I watched a couple clips of him and he was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, it just dawned on me that, and you mentioned that, 20 years away. Yeah, I'm like closer than that. And it's one of those things where I was just realizing all these rockers are, and it's been happening, but they're getting old. So,
Yeah.
this stuff happening is kind of like a reality check, I think, of mortality in a lot of ways, but then also just the idea of like, you think of these guys as sort of immortal figures that never will go away, but then Lemmy passed, and these guys
Right.
that you think would be there forever.
I know.
So, but it just reminds you that to appreciate them while they're here, I guess.
Well, Neil Peart is a great example.
Yep.
Dio,
Yeah. Oh,
you
that
know,
hurt. Yeah.
fucking
Chris Cornell.
Dimebag.
Yep.
How the fuck that
Dimebag.
happened? I'm still
Vinny,
reeling
his
from that.
brother.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think his brother died from natural causes, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. Well, but yeah, Dimebag was murdered,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
I don't know, man. It's a short road.
it is.
We'll think it's long, and then you're being shown to the off ramp
You
before
think
you
it's
know it.
well, you think it's forever, and then that kind of stuff happens. These guys just disappear after being there forever. So,
That's right. Yeah.
all right. Dark Throne have also another album coming out called a new album called Prehistoric Metal. Did you
Yeah.
see the cover for it?
I looked it up.
What did you think?
It looks like a Neanderthal man, Cro-Magnon man.
But what did you think of him holding the pitchfork?
I, I don't know. It reeked of it's the year 800 and I want to revolt.
But doesn't that like did he look like a farmer to you? I thought he looked like he really pissed off about that. He used to deal with a bunch of hay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Look, I get it. I understand black metal bands, they keep the budget down. They want it to look like that raw look of a black metal album, that old school Norway.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. But that was just fucking lazy to me. He was literally standing there going with a fucking pitchfork, right? Making
Yeah.
the face with the pitchfork, and
It's a
and just from here up, he could have been wearing fucking pajamas from there down. We wouldn't know.
stupid image.
Yeah, but see, that's my point, and it's just against the white wall. I'm like, come on, man,
Yeah.
put a little bit. And what did you go out to the fucking barn for that? Did you just
Yeah.
grab the pitchfork out of the barn real quick and go, I'll use the pitchfork? And then it's called prehistoric black metal. I'm like, how is this prehistoric? I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing prehistoric about this. I mean, maybe show, I don't know, show a dinosaur or some shit, but I don't know what the fuck are you going for here? And
Yeah.
then the album cover itself, I was just not only felt like it was lazy, but he looked like a farmer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
That's the
So,
I think that's the definition of phoning it in.
yeah, that's how I would feel. But at least go out into the woods like a good black metal band does, and then take your pitchfork out of the woods or whatever, and then at least make some sort of effort. You did it like your fucking kitchen or something. I don't know.
I don't
So
know. But how
just
do you
like
know he wasn't pissed off about like evil spirits? Like the evil spirit came down and fucked my goat. Now I'm on the warpath.
You make a solid point. I'm projecting here. Maybe that's what he was pissed off about. I don't know. But the way he stood there with the pitchfork, I don't know. I just felt it
Yeah.
had something to do with farming. That's all
It
I
was
know.
very unmetal.
I
It
thought so
was
too.
it was
So,
more like what's that guy Max Yasgur's farm.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the black metal version of that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So there you go. All right. So that is out now too, or coming out now too. All right. Did you have anything else in metal news?
Nope.
Okay, that moves us over to the album review of the episode. Which was my pick this time, and I went with At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. And
Mm.
one of the reasons I picked that album was because of course, unfortunately, Thomas Lindberg's recent passing, the singer. He died of cancer, unfortunately. He was 52, and he was a very influential figure within the Swedish death metal scene, like in the early 90s for sure. Because they
Yep.
formed At the Gates around 90, and then Slaughter of the Soul came out in 95, and they had some of their albums in there. And he also had some other bands he was involved with at that time. And I was reading that some of the other singers and other musicians basically came out and said, look, without him, there was no Swedish scene. I mean, there was
Yeah.
like, bands like Dismember and also Entombed and
Yeah.
yeah, those bands. And if you listen to At the Gates, it has that Gothenburg kind of Swedish
Oh, it's
guitar
yeah,
sound. Yeah,
very
you
similar.
can hear it. Yeah, for sure. Now I think his vocals separate and distinct them, make them very
Definitely.
distinctive. But
Definitely.
that guitar sound, you can kind of link back to the Swedish scene for sure.
Oh yeah, well he used a heavy metal pedal. Um it was a Boss heavy metal pedal, which was kind of like the secret sauce in the other albums
Hmm.
where they would just jam all the controls up to max.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. Like I read that he had the heavy metal pedal, the HM2 was feeding directly into a metal zone.
Mm.
And it was the distortion on the heavy metal pedal was all the way down to zero,
Huh.
and then whatever signal that was got passed into the metal zone to be fully sent into whatever amp he was using. I forgot what it was.
Huh. No
I
shit.
can't remember the amp, but he used the EMG 81 pickup.
Okay.
So it was, a pretty commonly used active pickup at the time,
Hmm.
extreme metal stuff. But yeah, I mean, when you listen to that, you can hear that it's the Gothenburg sound.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
So what'd you think of the album when I
I
picked?
fucking loved it. I loved it.
Have you heard it
So
before? You listened to it before, haven't you?
no, no,
What?
never heard.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I meant to, and funny, my younger brother bought the album on vinyl.
Oh, wow.
And every time I went into his room, tell him something, I'd look over and I'd see that fucking album sitting there and be like, God, one day I got to listen to that. One
Yeah.
day I got to listen to that. So one day, about 15 years later, I'm like, oh, he still has this record. The shit was warped
Oh no.
because he wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't sitting right or something, and light and
Bummer.
fading.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
drag.
So I'm like, ah, I'll get to it one day. And then
Shit.
one day became yesterday.
Okay. Well, then you go first. I'm going to shut up and I want to hear what you think of it. Now I have my notes here too. So
Okay.
because I want to be like you when I grow up. So go ahead
All
and
right.
give us. Let's go through your notes.
Oh, how flattering. This is sick. Big sound, brilliant songs, over the
Ah.
top guitar work. It's by every means a classic. This is peak guitar tone territory, delivered with conviction, pushing the future, remembering the past. Jim
Hmm.
Gardner.
Oh,
Just
good.
kidding.
That was great. That
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I think that's very accurate.
Um, the the thing that I don't understand is the way that it starts. I have, what the fuck is this noise?
Oh, that weird metallic thing they do in the beginning.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't know what that is, but the note I have is that this album feels like the band is just flat out attacking you. It just feels like this onslaught of like metal that's just being
Yeah.
unleashed at you. Like
It's
it just feels
extremely
like they're,
aggressive.
yeah, it just feels like they're coming for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I love it though. It's like this just onslaught. You only really get a few moments to catch your breath, like when they do some of the clean guitar breaks in there.
Yep.
When they kind of get away just before like some of the solos and some of the bridges that they have in there. Um, and especially during their you get those good, clean guitar breaks, but then towards the end of the album, you get the Flames of the End, which is that
Oh,
instrumental thing they do at the end, which comes out of left field, and to me
yeah.
that sounded like it belonged on the Matrix soundtrack.
Yeah, it didn't fit with the album.
No, it was so out of
But
left field.
it wasn't bad. I have evil intro, trippy, hypnotic main riff, and orchestration of madness.
Mm, yeah,
But it really didn't feel like stylistically it slid in with all the other stuff. Maybe that was by
right.
design.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It just seemed like this odd thing that just came out of nowhere that didn't really belong with the rest of the album. So
Yeah,
I don't know what they were going with that, but it was that's the only kind of breaks you get on it though, because the rest of it's
right.
just this fucking onslaught. It's like if you listen to Suicide Nation, it starts off with that shotgun blast, and then it's just like
Yes,
blam, and then it's just like
yes,
bam, and then the whole album is like that. That's what that I
yeah.
thought that was kind of the one of the signature songs on there that really personifies that album.
And it comes in right after Into a Dead Sky,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
which is like this chill track. It's
Totally.
very pretty song. And
Yeah.
then it just comes back in with this shotgun blast.
Yeah, yeah.
I did notice a lot of Sabbath influence,
Oh, I can hear that. Yeah.
you
Good
know.
call. Yeah.
And not that that's a bad thing. It's just
No.
part of the style. Yeah, I appreciate it when you wine and dine me a little bit. Uh, because the bands that are just straight ahead brutality
Yeah,
from
yeah.
beginning to end, it's like I can only take so much of that. Sometimes I want a concept album that's just really well crafted.
Yeah, yeah.
Songs make sense together. It tells you a story, but it's
Yep.
just heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and
this.
albums like you're pointing out there that are kind of just complete brutality, they're also very one-dimensional.
Yeah,
It's just like the same thing over and over and over again, and that to me loses its power, if anything,
yeah,
because just like it just kind of it's like a movie with just like constant special effects. It's like, well, okay, we've seen that now; it just kind of gets old. So,
yeah.
but with something like what you're talking about, that whining and dining thing, where they kind of weave in and out, and it's like slow, and then like you said, that one song kind of leads up to Suicide, to Suicide Nation, where you get that kind of like lull, where you kind of like, oh, I can relax, and then all of a sudden, bam, again. So yeah, no, I
Right back
like that
into
dynamic,
yeah.
that back and forth thing. Yeah,
It's a
100%.
beat down that stops temporarily
Yeah.
while the person who's hitting you changes the bat to the other hand.
Yeah, they're getting tired of hitting you with the other one. So yeah, it's to switch hands.
I really enjoyed the guitar work on this album.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
just such a nice. The riffs are very unique.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Because
Well, they definitely got some Iron Maiden going on in some of the leads there.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, and Nausea. Uh, I had Little Iron Maiden thrown in, then
Ah.
Slayer.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally. Yep.
Yeah. Unto Others, great acoustic bridge. Uh, in the song Need, the rhythms on that fucking song are crushing it.
Mm,
My God,
right on.
I was totally it's just very, very well played.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I mean overall I think it's just I don't know how I hadn't sat down and listened to it before then. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking that it was going to be overly melodic, maybe.
Oh, really? Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it really wasn't.
No, nope.
No,
That's a classic. So check out At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul.
right on.
All right. So that leads us on to the mystery band.
All right.
And it's your turn. So what you got for me?
Uh, I was working as a delivery driver in a pizza joint when I was like 16, and the guy who was the chef was this cool dude who got me into the Ramones. One week he comes into work, he's like, "You like music?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like Cream and AC/DC." He's like, "Look at this," and he gives me Ramones on vinyl.
Oh,
Go home,
which
check it
album
out.
was it?
Uh Actually it might have been, no, it wasn't the greatest hits. It was shit, I can't remember. Damn it, I can't remember.
Okay.
But it's got like a million fucking songs on it. Um, so then I gave it back to him. He's like, "What'd you think?" I said, "That was awesome. I taped it." And he goes, "Good. Here's the next one." And he hands me an album by a band called The Vapors.
The Vapors. I don't know if I've
And
heard
it was, the name of the album was New Clear Days.
Nuclear Day. Okay.
This is not an aggressive album by any means. This isn't like the Opeth. This isn't like the At the Gates. It's basically like a punk record, but it's
Okay.
extremely well done.
Huh.
They're totally locked into themselves, and it's just really good songwriting. You ever heard the song "Turning Japanese"?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Them,
Oh, that's them. I have heard them. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The name sounded kind of familiar, but I couldn't place what the connection was. I didn't really think if I heard of them or not. But yeah, no, I know that song. So
yeah,
that's their song. Okay. So Turning Japanese is their song. Okay, cool. Yeah,
yep.
I can't, I have to confess, I don't know of anything else beyond that though, because I never really looked into them,
Okay,
beyond that song. So I knew the song, but I didn't know anything else beyond that. Oh, okay.
it's great
So,
to drive to.
oh,
It's
yeah.
great to have on in the car.
Okay.
And the my favorite track on it is "News at 10."
News at 10. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
News at 10. All right. So the
so
Vapors, Nuclear Days
yep,
is the album. Okay.
that's the album. Yep,
All right. All right. I will make note of that. And that is my homework between now and the next episode.
very late 70s, early 80s ish type punk.
Does it hold
God, what a
up?
glorious time that was.
Does it hold up?
Oh, totally.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's, well, I'm not going to say it doesn't sound dated,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
but I mean,
but I mean the songwriting though. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to turn it on and be like, this just doesn't even, I can't understand this. You're not going
Okay.
to say that. It's
Okay.
just
All right.
punk.
Okay. I'm down. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. The Vapors. I will look that up. Okay, that moves us on to the last segment of our episode, which is the live shows and tours.
Yeah.
Coming up. Yeah, sorry for the confusion on the that's on the old Grind Crusher tour there.
Uh, did I mention something about that
Yeah,
to
you
you?
said that. Yeah, because it was the old tour. I didn't realize. I thought they were gonna bring that back or something. They were just posting about it. It must have been like an anniversary or something.
Oh,
So
I did say something to you about it. I'm like, how did
yeah,
he know how I felt about it? Yeah,
but
because I guess I mentioned it, but I was doing stuff on Saturday
yeah,
night.
yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, but I did remember to bring this down,
Okay,
and
what's that?
this is an original shirt from the Grind Crusher.
Oh my God. Wow. Holy shit. You have the
Yeah.
tour shirt.
So you can see,
Dude, that's rad. That's awesome. Look at that. Wow, the shirt's in remarkably good shape too.
oh, I take
Holy
care of my stuff.
shit. Look at that, dude. Wow, that's awesome. What's the
I,
front? Flip it around.
I was at the what is it? The one of these two New York shows
One,
at the
two New York shows.
Marquee.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't remember which day we went.
Wow. Look at that.
This is the front.
Oh, that's cool. Man, that shirt's in like really good shape, dude.
Yeah, and I've worn it a bunch of times,
How do you
man.
really? Wow. That's
It
awesome.
doesn't fit my fat ass anymore, but that's all right.
That was a hell of a tour. All right. Speaking of the current tours,
And oh, I wanted to say one last thing about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
The Grind Crusher tour that was in England included Carcass and Bolt
I
Thrower.
saw that. Yeah.
The one that
What was
was
the tour in the US? Who was on that tour?
Nocturnus and Godflesh.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
I'm not going to complain that I got to see Justin Broderick,
Right.
original Death
How was
guitar player.
Godflesh live?
Oh,
Good. Oh,
so fucking loud. My
were they?
ears still ringing. He basically was standing there with his guitar, and the guy I went to the show with fucking vouch for this. And I didn't have any ear protection, and all he was doing was smacking the strings of the guitar, and it was feeding back like crazy. And he just
Jesus.
went up to the microphone and he kept saying, "God, God, God!" And then finally, at the very end, like 2 minutes, it just he finally just goes, "Flash!" And then the fucking drums kicked in, and it was just like my ears were fucking destroyed that night. Holy shit. They were amazing.
That's awesome. That sounds awesome. All right, so that was yeah. All right, so that was the US. That was the US
That was the
version.
US leg of
Yeah,
it.
and yeah,
Yeah.
but that European tour looked amazing. All right, so as far as who's on tour now, Pentagram is embarking on their farewell tour in August.
I'm
So
shocked.
yeah, well, I mean, Bobby's like 150 years old,
I know. No, I'm
so
shocked they're doing it.
I know I can't believe that they're still doing it, but there they are, man. So I'm anxious to I want to try to catch them since this is the last one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They are OGs.
Yo, big time. But they go to like the
So
70 something, 70 whatever, tours. I don't
uh
know. They go back pretty far, man.
to our listeners, if you want to see the real shit, go check them out.
Go check out Pentagram. So yep. All right, they will be on tour this for their farewell tour this August. Coheed and Cambria are touring North America with Shinedown. Hatebreed are touring this summer with various openers, including Devourment and Incantation, which I thought was kind of a weird mix,
A little bit. Yeah.
right? I don't nothing against either band, but
Yeah.
just stylistically, it seems like a weird combo with Incantation opening for Hatebreed. Am I missing something there?
No, no. I think we're starting to see more and more of these odd billings.
Yeah,
And I'm very suspicious of whether they're doing that because they think that they might be able to get more people to attend if
yeah,
it's because like we talked about in the last episode where
mm.
there was the incredible range of bands on that festival that you had
Yeah, yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know if I
aftershock.
got,
Yeah, aftershock.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if I got to make this comment, but one thing I was thinking was like, how can you have all these rap acts on a bill that bills itself as a rock and metal festival?
right. Yeah,
What is Wu-Tang Clan
or
doing in a
Cypress
rock
Hill.
and metal?
Yeah, why are they there? Yeah,
And so that's when I started thinking, I think they're just tired of like, well, not, I don't want to say tired of not making money, but I think they want to protect themselves against taking a huge loss
yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
number of people that are not going to go
Right.
because it's a bunch of rock bands. I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
But if you add in other stuff that maybe other people want, so maybe this is something like that.
Maybe, I guess, to make a more diverse bill, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just seem like a weird pairing though between those two bands, just
it totally is.
stylistically. Yeah. And then the Pretty Reckless also announced a tour in support of their new album called Dear God. So they're going to be going out on the road here too. So we do have a lot of bands that are kind of coming up here. When's that Sun show? Isn't that coming up?
It is Friday night. This
Ooh, I want to
Friday.
hear. Cool. So in the next episode, I want to hear how that went.
Yeah, my buddy just texted me and said, make sure you bring your earplugs because these guys are fucking loud, man.
Have you seen them before?
once,
Once. And were
and
they
they
that?
handed out ear protection.
Oh, did they really? Were they
Yeah,
that? Were they that loud?
yeah. They had
Really?
some girl
Wow.
walking around in like a monk's robe with a little plate just
Of earplugs, no kidding.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
was like, oh, am
God.
I really gonna need it? Take it, dude. Just take them. And then you could feel it in the seat, man. It's just like the low end is unbelievable. It's
Wow.
ungodly.
And it's just the two of them, right?
Just the two of them.
Just the two of them. Okay. All
Hopefully
right.
this time I'll see him with the smoke machines because the last time they didn't have they were
Oh,
all.
so the machines are part of the stage
Oh yeah, they
thing.
come out
Okay.
of the mist and they're big fucking robes and
Hoods. Oh
shit.
yeah, I saw the way the hoods and stuff.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
pretty cool. So I'll
Right
let you
on.
know. And
Okay.
by the time this thing airs, of course, it'll be in the
Yeah, in the
past.
past, but
So
hopefully people are going to go check them out.
well,
All right.
hopefully the world will still be around for people to see the fucking episode.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So we'll give that time.
All right.
All right. Anything else and live shows that you're aware of?
No,
All right. Well, I think this is a wrap then. I think we're done with this episode. What do you think?
it feels about right.
Okay. All right. So
It's chock full of goodness.
chock full of all the metal. Thank you for joining us. Please share our podcast with anyone that appreciates heavy music. Be sure to visit our social feeds and drop us a comment with your thoughts on the podcast.